All right, I'm back. So obviously the engine on the E34 is still out. There's like a million things I have to do before the engine's ready to go back in. So I kind of figured on this episode what I would do is focus on the transmission. We'll kind of finish up all those like loose ends all over the place. And then next episode we can work our way up to the engine. So right now I'm getting ready to change the transmission fluid, so I kind of wanted to talk about that a little bit because my pick for transmission fluid is a little unconventional for most Euro guys. So the transmission fluid I'm going with is from Hot Shot Secret. So I guess obligatory disclaimer, these people used to sponsor me. They sponsored me for like 8 days and then they changed their mind. But that's not the reason why I'm showing it to you. I'm not being paid by anybody or anything like that. The reason why I'm using it is because, well, I like it, and it's going to solve a few problems I have with this transmission. Now, when it comes to maintaining your transmission, I think BMW has made a mistake here because BMW always tells people that the transmission fluid in here is good for the life of the transmission. That's not really how lubricants work. So, I don't know why they say that. So I always recommend people to change their transmission fluid and to get online and look up who makes the transmission and then follow that recommendation. Now, when it comes to why I picked this specific manual transmission fluid, the first reason is because it's a little bit thicker. This is a SAE 50 fluid, which is just a tiny bit thicker than the factory. I think 7590 is what BMW or ZF says should go in here. So this is just a little bit thicker. You're going to get more film strength. You're going to get more heat rejection, so this is just an overall better quality fluid. Now the downsides to this fluid is exactly what I just said. It's a little bit thicker, so in terms of how this fluid's going to flow when it's cold, if you live in a place like I do where it snows, you could have a problem on your hands with this fluid, but this car is never going to be driven in the winter, so that's not something I'm really worried about. And the other reason why I like Hot Shot's oil, and not just their transmission oil, but all of their oils, is that they put FR3 in it, which is a anti-friction modifier. So all of the parts of your transmission and engine, all those parts are always rubbing on each other. So anything that you can have to reduce friction, that's always a good thing. And then the other reason why I'm going with this transmission fluid is because of a modification that you have to make to run this transmission on a LS. Like I said in a few videos ago, the flywheel that I'm running is a single mass flywheel. And so the problem with going with a single mass flywheel on your BMW is when you convert, it tends to make the transmission kind of noisy, kind of chattery. And that can get kind of annoying. This fluid is supposed to be specifically designed to stop that noise or at least dampen down the noise. And so my goal is to not only, get the benefits of going to a thicker and more slippery oil, but if I can calm down some of those MVH problems, I'll be a happy person. So if you're looking to change the transmission fluid on your GS6, the fill port is on the passenger side of the transmission. The thing that you need to be aware of is that all of these Torx bits or star bits here, do not remove these. These are connected to the shift forks inside of the transmission. You're gonna have a really bad day if you remove those. So what you're looking for is this guy down here. This is an 8mm hex. So once again, do not remove any of these that have a star or a Torx bit on it. Only remove this one that has a hex head on it. Oh no! All right, so I got the oil change in the transmission, so we're pretty much done with that. The next thing is we got to install a flex disc on this transmission, and the biggest thing with installing a flex disc is to not install it backwards. So these flex discs, they're actually pretty simple. They're just basically like a big rubber donut that just kind of goes on the end of your transmission. So like not really like earth-shattering technology or anything here, but it's important that you install them correctly because otherwise you're gonna have a huge headache trying to put the drive shaft on the back of your transmission. And so the first thing that you need to think about when installing a flex disc is to make sure you have the right size. And so a few videos back, I talked about how originally this transmission came with a 105 105mm output flange, but then I put one on from an E46 M3, so now I have a 96mm output flange. Now, a lot of people use these transmissions for swaps, not just LS swaps, but I've seen these transmissions behind all types of cars. And it's possible that you're in a situation where this 105mm output flange is just too large. I know there's probably a whole lot of people out there that need the 96mm output flange. That's more common with lower power BMWs or older BMWs or older low power BMWs like mine. And there's actually a direct OEM replacement that you can use to swap over to the smaller output flange size. Like I say, you can just grab one from an E46 M3 and job done. You have to buy the right size flex disc to match up with your output flange. And now the second thing that you need to keep in mind when installing the flex disc is that they're actually directional. All right, so how you install this is actually pretty simple because they actually put the instructions on the side of the flex disc. So if you look at this thing, there's all types of arrows going all the way around. So like this one goes towards the transmission, this one goes towards the drive shaft, towards the transmission, towards the drive shaft. You get the idea, right? And so what these arrows are doing are they're letting you know really two things, and both of those help you to install this correctly. The first thing is that this arrow is obviously, again, pointing towards the transmission. So it's letting us know that a bolt should go in this direction. And then the second thing that it's letting us know is that it's pointing towards the transmission, which means that a flange should meet up with the point of this arrow. And then vice versa, on this side, the flange from the drive shaft should go right here. Now, you don't want to mix this up and, like, let's say, put it on this direction, because the flex disc is only designed to handle torque in one direction. And so by putting it on backwards, you're going to tear this thing up really bad. And so I guess this video is going to have a bonus Q-tip because when it comes to the 96mm flex disc, I would recommend getting one from an E46 M3. The E46 M3's flex disc is actually like tougher and thicker and stronger than just the regular BMW 96mm flex disc. And so if you're looking for something a little bit more robust, a little bit more industrial grade, if you want to call it that, the E46 M3 is kind of the direction that you will want to go for that. The one thing I will say is I don't know if it's due to demand or part supply issues. It could be a whole number of things, but when I ordered this, ECS did not have it, and it took them like a month to ship it to me. So if you're in a pinch where you need to get one of these in your car like right now, this probably isn't the solution that you want to pursue. But if you have time to wait, I would wholeheartedly recommend that you get the E46 one instead of just the regular BMW 96mm flex disc. All right, so I was actually gonna like roll directly into the outro or the conclusion of that video, and I realized I made a mistake. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'm in the middle of editing, not this video you're watching now, but the last video, the video that came out 2 weeks ago from when this video came out. And I'm on the part where I'm putting the pressure plate, and well, I'm putting the whole clutch together, but I'm putting the bolts into the pressure plate. And as you can see, I said on screen that you need to not only torque these pressure plate bolts, but put thread locker. Can you guess what I didn't do? Okay, so yeah, so I gotta pull that transmission back off of there because, I mean, otherwise it's just gonna drive me crazy until the end of time, and I know, knowing my luck, that pressure plate will fall off inside of the bell housing, so I guess we gotta go get the transmission back off the back of the engine.
Hey baby.
Hi.
I need to know Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Was that the one that almost got deleted?
Yeah. Oh, this is going from bad to worse. So they were using Linux and they didn't specify a file to delete, so it just deleted the entire drive. I'm hot. Am I just hot because it's 100 degrees out here? And so then the animation team called down because they were working
on it, and right then and there it just started.
Right, the files started disappearing.
They didn't delete one by, like each character was deleting one by one.
Right, because they work on a cluster.
Yeah.
And so it accesses the files remotely.
So they realized it, and then they called. Who did they call?
They called down to IT, and then
IT. They were like, we need to unplug this.
Right, and then they had the argument about are they allowed to just unplug it?
Right.
By the time the plug was pulled and the delete command was stopped, 90% of the movie's files were gone, less than a year from the film's release date. Well, so let this be a lesson, kids. Always back up your files and never use Linux.
All right, so I got the clutch fixed, or I fixed my mistake with the clutch, let's say that. So I ended up just basically like taking the bolts of the pressure plate out one by one and putting Loctite back on, and then, you know, did the star pattern, torqued it back down, put the transmission back on. This is just, again, a whole lot of commotion that I wish I wouldn't have made a mistake, but like that's the reality of like being one person working on your car. You're gonna make mistakes. And so, like, I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. I made a mistake. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, because I know I promised in the last video that the next video would be about me, like, working on the shifter in this car. I haven't forgotten. I'm actually still working on it. That's becoming much more of a project than I ever thought it would be. So that's gonna kind of become its own video in the future. But right after I'm done filming this, like, literally, like, right now, I'm gonna go back in the garage. I'm gonna work on injectors and a harmonic balancer, so a whole bunch of stuff coming up on that engine. So make sure that you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you want to keep following along with the build, and I will see you guys in the next one.